Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Matt, and with me is Luke. He doesn't talk anymore, not since I ripped his tongue out. And we're gonna be talking about Fallout. Don't open your mouth,
Indeed,
it'll
we
show that I
are.
lied.
Yeah, he's lying. I talk
Yeah.
occasionally.
So we're gonna be talking about Fallout 4. We're first half of the show. We're gonna be talking about mechanics. We're gonna talk about what we thought about like just the actual gameplay itself. And then in the second half, we're gonna actually go into the story. So if you don't want to be spoiled on anything, just listen to the first bit, and then we're gonna warn you, hey, we're gonna go into the storyline. So then you can do your own story, then come back and watch the rest of this because you're not gonna abandon us, will you? You
Never.
wouldn't do that, Jonathan.
Kyle,
Kyle, you never abandoned us, right?
damn straight.
So, yep. Hi, my name's Matt. This is Luke. We're going to be
Hello.
talking about Fallout. Double down on
Indeed.
that. So, there's been a lot of controversy about bugs in Fallout 4. Have you had a few of those?
Yeah, always. I mean, like I said, I don't know about you. I played Fallout 1,
Mhm.
2, 3, New Vegas, 4, skipped out on tactics, thank God. But I I don't really mind them anymore because they always happen. The one I ran into that has actually driven me crazy because it still persists today is if you are running the game over 60 frames per second, which I do. Um,
Brag about it.
the I know, well, yeah, it's not a big deal. But if you go into a terminal, you'll occasionally get stuck in that terminal when you come out because of the way the terminal affects the game. I don't know. It's a bunch of really nerdy stuff that I don't understand.
It basically
But
freezes the game whenever you go into
so you've run
interface.
into
Like,
it before as well.
yeah, like the Pip-Boy lock picking or the terminal.
Mhm.
Whenever you go into that, it freezes the game. So I can see that can
Yeah, and
cause
so when I
problems.
when I came out, it only happens with the terminal. And when I come out of it, I just get stuck, and it drives me insane. And I'll have to like open up Fraps, set my thing to 60 FPS, do a terminal, then undo Fraps. It's drives me insane.
For my game, it looked like it was like locking itself at 60 FPS. I never had it
Oh,
like
really?
I never had to go over. It dropped a few times, and that actually is something that people pointed out as well. Is that it would drop a lot, especially when you go into like really big areas. It would just like
Hmm.
drop FPS.
Yeah, no. Whenever
But
I'm in
this guy doesn't have it because he's
downtown,
like good computer.
no, no, no. Hey, when I'm in Diamond City, the downtown
Oh
area
yeah,
around there,
that
like
kills. That's
that
killer.
destroys my frames. I'm like 30 to 40 FPS when I'm in that area. It is
It's
ridiculous.
absolutely killer.
Hmm.
Um, And another thing would be I had actually really like a game breaking bug that didn't like it didn't crash the game, but it basically made it to where I couldn't progress at all.
Hmm.
I was doing a mission. I'm not going to say which mission, but basically I had to activate a certain like wall that way I could go and do the thing. Whenever I hit E to activate, it wouldn't do anything. Like
Really?
the NPCs that are supposed to like go and interact with it to make my so I can progress, they would just stand there like, "Yep, we're gonna
Hmm.
go do that."
Yeah, and something that I had a big storyline quest too. I won't say which part it was, obviously, because this is a big spoiler. But I was at a certain area, and it was time for me to leave that area. And the way you're supposed to do it, be able to do it, is you can just fast travel out or use some sort of get out. I'm trying to be as broad as possible, but I couldn't do it, and it just wouldn't let me, and I had to end up like tracking down a cell ID for like a random area in the map, and just then got them on PC. I don't know what I would have done if I was on
Mhm.
console, and then teleporting out that way because I was running around for 3 hours. Probably not. I was very impatient. It was probably like an hour trying to figure it out, and I couldn't. It was infuriating.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of the Fallout games get out of this a lot because it's Bethesda.
Yeah.
They get a lot of just like it's Bethesda, it's gonna have bugs,
Hmm.
but it's kind of just like whenever if Assassin's Creed had the exact same problems, they would be thrown through a river and just destroyed.
So yeah, I mean. They've some of them been really frustrating. I expect the graphical bugs with Bethesda all the time. They always have them.
The
It's
animations,
yeah,
yeah.
the animations like I expect it, and I know. I think the patch came out yesterday or today. A patch is either has happened or is coming. I'm not sure which one. That is gonna fix a lot of these issues. I don't know which ones. I don't know if there's gonna be a patch log like they do with games like Counter-Strike, where you get to see everything broken down. Um, but some of the gameplay ones where it's like affected the gameplay severely, I really don't expect that to happen with Bethesda just because I mean with such a big title, I expect people to be playing through this like multiple times and figuring all these things out. And so a few of them have really, really gotten to me. The terminal one was a big one, and then that storyline bug where I couldn't leave that area really drove me crazy as well.
I also had a big problem with the Pip-Boy. Whenever I would bring it up, it would just not happen. Like the entire game would freeze. Like it would do the freeze time, but then nothing would like pop up, and I wouldn't have the Pip-Boy interface. And I'd just
Hmm.
be like, okay, I would tab, and then like it'll go away, and everything will start up again. Then I'll hit tab
Yep.
again, and then like sometimes the Pip-Boy will come up. And also, I
Now that you
got
say that,
yeah.
no, continue, continue.
I was just gonna say that I had a piece of armor that I could go invisible with. Like if I just stood still and crouched, I'd go like invisible with it. And that like caused a lot of problems with the Pip-Boy.
Hmm. Yeah, no,
Because half the time the Pip-Boy would be invisible and I couldn't see what
yeah,
was
that would
going
be
on.
that would drive me. Oh, I didn't even think about that. That would be drive me insane. So it's like a pit boy, I mean a stealth boy effect kind of deal with your armor.
Yeah, but it was like a permanent effect that I could use
Okay.
whenever I was like
Okay.
stealth and not moving.
Okay,
That's a
I got
mechanic.
you.
That's not a spoiler. Don't yell at me.
Oh, no, you're fine.
It's a
Um,
mechanic.
you know when you can hotkey weapons? I'm almost.
Yeah.
I used to do it back on Fallout 3 when I played on console. So I think you can do it on console as well, where you like press a button and a weapon comes out.
Yeah.
Could be wrong, but I know you can do it on PC. So you assign your weapons from 1 through 0. Um, I've had this problem where I'm like trying to press one of my keys and get a good weapon out, and it will not come out, and I have to go into my Pip-Boy and then select the weapon, and then it like resets and they'll start doing it again. But I don't. That's also been so infuriating for me. And once again, I don't know if all these things are going to be fixed now because like I said, I think a patch either came out yesterday or today or soon. I'm not really sure, but these are the issues I've had with like this week of release, 2 weeks of release, really.
Yeah.
So.
I haven't had that. I think everyone's been having like different bugs. Like
Oh yeah.
everyone's been having like you have this bug, well now I have this bug. It's like
Hmm.
it's very different bugs across all kind of spectrums on games. But to stop bitching about bugs, I can actually like talk about mechanics that we do like. And I think one of my favorite mechanics coming from Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas to this game would probably be the fact that you don't have to go into a separate UI for getting stuff out of like looting and stuff.
Oh God,
That
yes.
was actually real. I really like that.
And they executed it so well in a way that
Mhm.
you still can go into a separate where it
Yeah.
stops the game if you want, but you don't have to. And I think that's beautiful. There's a lot less like if you're I've noticed when you're clearing a building, they have made it so you don't have to enter new areas and go through a loading screen in the building. Sometimes you do, occasionally, but a lot of the time the whole building is just like you just keep progressing throughout it, which I think is fantastic, and it makes the game feel it doesn't break the realism as much or the immersion as much. So
Yeah,
I
there are
love
really
that.
long loading screens in this game.
Yeah.
But I think it's really just because they break the game in parts so much that basically whenever you go into another door, that's an entire another world. So
Hmm.
like you don't have to like you can just search an entire area, realize oh that's gonna like put me through a loading screen. Let me finish up and like make sure I'm doing everything I can over here.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, like I said, they allow you to go a lot of places with just one load, which is
Hmm.
pretty nice.
And just thinking about places, the interaction with the environment, it just, I mean, the game is beautiful.
Mhm.
I really, I mean, it's obviously not like top tier graphics of like, crazy, but that's not what Fallout is. But the way they boosted them and made them look, it really does fit that feeling of the apocalypse with like, and just the way you interact with it. And that's why I'm bringing it into game mechanics. It's just like you can do so much with it, and it's just really interesting the way you can build on it with the settlement feature. It's really really awesome, and they've done a great job with that.
Speaking of the settlements feature, how much have you gotten into that?
So it's not my favorite thing about it. So glad they added it, and it's fun to toy around with a little bit. I just know some people are getting super into it, whereas I am kind of like, a little bit. Now, with that said, I did spend about 8 hours one night.
I'm kind of on it, but it's the most amazing thing, and I play it all the time. It's the best.
Yeah, so each of my settlements, and I have about 15 or 16 of them. I have
Okay.
a lot of settlements. I've done a lot of quests for the Minutemen. And that's who you do the settlements
Yeah.
through. Most of the time is the Minutemen, for those that do not know. Um, so each of my settlements has about 10 defense heavy machine gun turrets at it, which is a big task to get. They require a lot of different parts. But I have done that, so all my settlements are very, very safe. As for building, I'm just not a very creative person, so I like to use the buildings that are already there, and occasionally I'll build a shack and just put bed after bed after bed in it so my people can sleep.
Mhm.
I make sure they're happy, but I just don't make my settlements pretty or anything. Like
Yeah.
I just don't really care.
I did like 2 missions for them, and then I realized, oh, it's just go here, kill the guys, then come back. And then I was like,
And then
I'm
they'll
not.
join you, and you have another settlement. Yep, that's all it
Yeah, I
is.
did that about twice, and I was like, oh, this is repetitive. Okay. And then I just
And I think
walked.
that's why a lot of people didn't consider the Minutemen a main faction in the storyline.
Hmm.
This really isn't a spoiler. The three main, because you'll learn this very early on, is the Railroad, and I won't tell you anything about them, the Railroad, the Institute, and the Brotherhood. You learn about those guys right off the back. Like I ran into the Brotherhood my first hour into the game. Um, so though, and then the Minutemen always get written off as kind of not really a huge part, which technically they are, because of how the storyline works. But they do get written off because I feel like there just wasn't a lot to them. All you did was go to settlements and
Yeah.
take them over, and then yeah, it just was kind of bland.
Yeah. I got pretty bored with it pretty quickly. Just
Yeah.
not.
Mhm.
I mean, it was a lot of doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, we have
Um,
a raider problem. We have a ghoul problem. Oh, you solved it? We'll join you. It's like, okay.
it's like, thanks, man. That
Yeah,
means a
you're the
lot.
best.
The companion system is basically like the companion system in all the other games, real buggy
Oh,
and shit.
don't even get me started. People, when I first started with it, I thought it was really interesting because, they always make sure they like right off the back they say interesting things in the area you're at. So I had Piper, who you meet pretty fast, and Piper was like, we arrived at certain locations. Like, I can I talk about Diamond City? Is that a spoiler?
We can go into it later, I think.
Okay, so just certain areas you're at, she'll like make a comment about it, or like if you're talking to someone, they'll pitch in.
Yeah.
So certain things like that are cool, but the companion system is still a dumbed down extra gun, and that's all I see it as. There wasn't a lot. You can romance a companion, which basically you're romancing the companion, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh,
Um,
I romanced.
oh, I
You
romanced
better
Piper
believe
pretty
I
good.
romanced Piper.
Amen. And so like whenever you like sleep
She
next
didn't
to
have
them,
any of it.
whenever you like sleep in a bed or something, and they're currently accompanying you, you get like a lover's perk or something, and you gain more XP. I don't know. It just
Oh, I never had that. I don't go to
and
sleep in that
once
game.
once you romance a companion, it's done. You've completed what you can with them, and they'll tell you like a little personal storyline, and it's not interesting most of the time. And in Fallout New Vegas, um, you would have a cult quest where you like did certain things for them,
Yeah,
and it
like
was
Boone and stuff like that.
fascinating. Yeah. But still at the end of that quest, once you completed it, the companion was bland and dead, and I was just really dying for a way that they were going to keep the companions alive and interesting. But I think they're once again they're okay. They're better than Fallout 3. I'll give them that,
Yeah,
but they're still not great.
yeah. Um, and it was pretty interesting with like how they would like or dislike you depending on like you okay there
Yeah, I just nailed my pop filter. you know.
on how they would interact with you. Basically they would like see what you're doing and then like or dislike it. Like if
Mm.
like for Piper, if you lockpick anything, she'll be like, "Oh, that
Yeah,
was
she'll
really
be. Oh, that
oh."
was talented.
That's he can't keep you out of anything, can they? And I'm like, I did that 50 more times.
Uh,
Like, this is
and you know
it.
what they did? They used that to replace the karma system, which, oh my god, infuriates me. One, I was so upset that I didn't see the faction system because I thought that was one of the most unique systems there was, and I thought that was really well executed in New Vegas for the most part. There was a few buggy things with it, and then
Yeah.
number two, the karma system, which I was 100% expecting at least the karma system, and I can't believe they actually got rid of that.
Yeah, it was very surprising. Like, I still like played the game thinking I was gonna like get like an invisible counter of karma down. Like
Hmm.
whenever it was like whenever it's like whenever you have to steal whenever you want to steal something, I'm like I'm not gonna steal that. I don't want to affect my karma. Got to keep good
Hmm.
karma. I mean, there's obviously an
And
invisible tally out there and I can't see it. I
you
can't
can't
affect
play
the
the game
karma.
as an evil character though, as well. Like it's
Um,
so hard to do. I mean, there's certain you can obviously go around killing people, but like there's no like I felt like there was a big lackluster. Like there's no big gang or like enemy or bad people you can like join up with. And once we get to the main storyline, we'll talk more about like
mhm.
being the bad. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think it was well done like in the other games.
I think it was kind of more interesting because there isn't a black and white, like there isn't the you're the Messiah or you're the devil.
Hmm.
I think it's kind of cool that instead of like seeing what you're doing through like that little like icon screen, you see it through your quests and what you're doing.
Hmm.
You can basically you can think that you're the good guy when you're obviously working for the bad guys.
Hmm. Yep.
Yeah, and I thought that was kind of interesting. Do you have any other mechanics you want to talk about?
Combat I think would be one because that is something that's super
Oh
different
yeah,
than
I completely
any
forgot about
Fallout
that.
game. Yeah, like I compare it to Battlefield, honestly, which isn't exact,
Hmm.
but the way like the gun moves and the way it feels and how smooth it is just it's fantastic. And I think the biggest reason they did it is to cater to more people, and I think it catered to me even as well. It just feels like a smooth FPS for once, and
Yeah.
it's fantastic. VATS is a beautiful system.
Yeah,
I love how it's
Vats
live
is
time.
just like quickly kind of like say Vats is basically like a freeze time. It's not even a freeze time anymore. It's like it's
Hmm.
slow like in Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, it would freeze time completely. Then you can kind of like take a second, strategize who you want to shoot and exactly where
Hmm.
you want to shoot, and it'll give you percentages on like what's the likelihood that you'll actually hit what you want where you're going for. But in this game, it doesn't freeze time; it just slows it down. So you're still capable of dying in uh, ball in that little strategy mode, and also the new Stimpack system where it basically in other earlier games it would immediately buff out your health, but in
Hmm.
this game it your guy takes a second, he has to inject himself with a Stimpack, and then it slowly goes build your health up. I
Yeah,
thought
if
that
you
was kind
played
of cool.
hardcore in Fallout New Vegas, anyone that's
Yeah,
watching the hardcore mode, it's like that. Your health slowly increases. It increases faster than it did in hardcore mode, but it's not like that instant. You can just spam stim packs. I mean, you can still spam them, but it's not like you just always will get away with it,
yeah,
and be alive.
it also like takes you it takes your gun out of your hands so that your guy can inject himself. So if you're doing that mid fight, you're
Hmm.
gonna lose the health that you just tried gaining back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And like I said, I love VATS so far. VATS is really, really cool in this
yeah,
game. Just it looks better, it feels better, the fact that they're moving. If anyone cares, VATS stands for Vault Tech Assisted Targeting System. And it's hard to explain, but if you Google it or something, or if you've played the game yourself, you're probably familiar with VATS. It's pretty fantastic. Oh, what are you doing over there?
making fun of you. So I don't even know what I was going to talk about. My biggest issue with the combat system in Fallout 4 would be the fact that the enemies, the only difference between them is that one enemy will take less damage to kill, one will take more damage to kill. That
Hmm.
was the only varying difference between each enemy, and I thought that was kind of really lackluster.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, compared to other Fallouts, and this is something I think they've always struggled with is variety among enemies.
Hmm.
They've definitely improved a little bit, but if you play this game for a few hours even, not even, you've logged like what, almost 40 hours?
Probably about 25 to 30.
25 to 30. Okay, so I've logged I think 50 hours so far, and I have definitely felt when I fight raiders, when I fight super mutants, they're the same thing. Like they looked different in the trailer, and I think they sparsed them out correctly, and they made you get that feel. But they're really not. It's a lot of the same thing. And I'm not hating on Fallout. I've sounded like I've said a lot of negative things, but I think I'm just kind of critiquing it first, and then we'll go back
Yeah,
and
it's
there's so many good
we
things.
both love the games,
Yeah.
like and
Mm,
but we want to like whenever you love something, you begin with saying like negative stuff so that you don't feel like you're being like too catering to it.
exactly.
Yeah,
Especially when a
it's
franchise you love so much and you want to see improve and you want to see capitalize, because Obsidian will probably make a Fallout off of this game in the next 2 years. I would not see why Bethesda would not give Obsidian or another company another shot like they did with New Vegas,
yeah,
because it
they
worked
did a very
out.
good job.
Yeah, it
They did
worked
a
out
very good
really
job.
well.
Uh,
So it's good to kind of get what you liked, what you didn't like, what you want to see, stuff like that. So different companies can hear it.
yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good stuff.
Anything else
Uh,
on game mechanics?
yeah, really just the fact that that's the thing that really just took me out of it was the fact that every enemy was a bullet sponge, and the
Hmm.
legendary enemies was even worse because so what a legendary enemy is basically the exact same thing but has more armor and more like damage, and when you take it down to like half health, it'll immediately regen. That
Yeah.
so
Oh yeah, I don't get that. It says
me
like the
neither.
legendary enemy has mutated or something, or
Yeah,
evolved or something. A word there that I Don't know.
It says mutated, and then it
Mutated.
gains its entire life back.
So like when a raider mutates and his life comes all the way back, I'm like, who are you, sir?
It's like,
Hello?
what happened? What have you
And it
done in
felt
your
like a
life?
way just to make the game like harder, and I appreciate that, but I think it's a weird way of executing it
Hmm.
on certain enemies. Like a feral ghoul, I get mutates, they're filled with radiation. I
That
can
could
kind of get
happen, but
that.
the fact that it
Yeah,
regens its entire life whenever it does that,
yeah.
I
I don't
wish
know.
that
I
instead
just
of like regenerating its entire life back, it would become immune to whatever bullets you're shooting at it. Like if you're shooting like gamma whatever at it, and it mutates, it suddenly doesn't take almost any damage from the gamma
hmm
anymore. Instead, you have to switch to another gun. That'd be kind of a cool mechanic.
hmm
But all it does is add life to itself.
You just made me think. Game mechanics. I guess that kind of falls with weapons, armor,
Mm-hmm.
ammo in a sense. And the ammo you just mentioned, I think they did a great job on. I think they broke it. They simplified it a little bit more, which I think needed to be done. And I actually really appreciate how it's worked out. And there's more types of ammos, obviously, because there was a lot of different guns. And so, yeah, ammo, I think they did a great job on. I like seeing energy weapons focus on fusion cells, instead of like having energy cells for one, microfusion cells for one. I liked having that simplified.
Generalized it. Words are hard.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah,
and it was nice. Obviously, plasma and laser are still two different weapon,
yeah,
and ammo
and they both do
types.
different things. The gamma will do radiation damage to
Yeah,
the enemy, which is kind of cool.
I just got my hands on my first gamma gun 2 days ago, and I've been messing around with it. It's a really fun gun to use. I
Mm-hmm.
really do like that. I don't, and we've never had one like that before. So,
Yeah, it's cool
and
stuff.
Fallout 3 or Vegas, that is.
And they still make everyone just like go to like liquid ash, which is always a
hmm
good
Have you
time.
played Fallout 1 or 2?
No, I tried to, but I couldn't really get into it because I'm not really
hmm
into the RTS kind of
hmm
like.
Fallout 4 is Fallout 1 and 2
Mm,
in the Fallout 3 or New Vegas style. Like the armor is that style, the 10 millimeter pistol, the weapons, like it really does feel like a Fallout 1 or 2 brought to the modern life. And I really, really like the style. The power armor looks better, the weapons look better.
Oh yeah, the
Everything
power
just
armor is a
looks.
big mechanic that's really different from
Oh
Fallout
yeah,
3
we have
going to
not even.
Fallout 4.
Yeah.
That's introduced to you within like the first hour is that you get this power armor, and
hmm
instead like in the other game it was basically just hey put this on, and now instead of whatever you're wearing the power suit now,
Yeah,
and
and
there's
every other weapon becomes irrelevant. Oh, the only thing that's relevant at that time is either power armor. Yeah, just power armor, really. Because not, why would you wear anything else than power armor?
yeah, and then but in this game you have to power it with fusion cells, which are kind of difficult to find, and also each piece of the armor, the arms, legs, torso, head, they can all be switched out interchangeably, and they can also be damaged, which
So
is
yeah,
yeah.
like Matt said, you need the fusion cores to operate it, and those are huge. They're like I played 50 hours. I have like 22 of them right now, so they're not insanely rare, but they're to the point where you don't want to just be exploring the wasteland in your power armor nonstop.
100% of the time, yeah.
Yeah, whenever I have it easily accessible, I have mine at Sanctuary
You have to,
Hills.
yeah, you have to really think about like where you want to use it, when you want to use it.
Mhm.
It's kind of like the power armor is like basically just Superman armor. Like it's straight up like you're 10 times more powerful. You get to carry
Oh
more
yeah,
stuff. You
you really
don't
are a
take
tank
any
in the armor.
damage. You don't take any radiation almost.
Mhm. You
Um,
really are a tank in this new armor. Like
yeah,
you are insanely strong. I remember I teleported to somewhere in the downtown Boston area, and one of those super mutant suiciders with the mini nukes ran up on me and exploded right next to me. I was perfectly fine, and I was like, "What?" I was only like half HP down, and I was like, "Good lord."
it's like, sir, calm down. That
Mhm.
that might have broken
Yeah.
my like shoulder a little bit.
Dust that off real quick. You will. I have yet to die in power armor. I have yet to die.
I think really have to try. The thing that'll really happen is your armor will break.
Yeah, yeah,
That's really
definitely.
the only difference. It's like instead of
Yeah,
dying, your armor will break.
mhm. Big after certain big battles, I've definitely had like 4 pieces of broken armor, and it's not hard to repair, but it's also not like the just to keep doing over and over
Mhm.
again. It does take resources.
Yeah, and I probably have 16 fusion cells. The only time that I really use the power armor though is when I know I'm gonna be going into like a really radiated area because
Mhm.
it seriously debuffs the hell out of radiation.
Yeah,
Like
like the glowing sea area just
yeah,
destroys it.
yeah. There's an area in the game that there's basically just a lot of radiation. I just walk straight through it, And I had a companion with me that was just like walking behind me, like, I think I can feel myself dying.
Oh yeah, they're
I'm
like,
like,
I think we need to get out of here, and it's like, I'm fine, don't worry about it.
and I'm just like, no, I'm fine. Just keep following. But
Yep.
yeah. Is there any other mechanics you want to talk about before we get into the story?
I mean, same thing. Like I said, weapons, armor, fantastic. The layering system is absolutely beautiful.
They added
It's the
weapon
back.
crafting system.
Yep.
You don't.
Weapon crafting,
You
armor craft,
basically
anything really.
you take a standard weapon, and then you basically just throw anything on top of it. You can add a new stock. You can add a new ignition system, sights, add a silencer, compensator, whatever you want to do. Magazine, trigger. A whole like basically just you can make thousands of guns. It's really
Yeah.
cool.
And
Did you find
same
yourself
thing.
doing it at all? Did you mess around with that?
See, going back to legendaries, whenever you kill a legendary, you get a legendary item off of them.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's ridiculous. I have a rolling pin at my house. I have a legendary rolling pin that increases headshots or something.
I have that too,
fast.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the strangest weapon, and it's hung up on my wall right now. But the other times you'll get like a god weapon, and it's fantastic. And I found myself using those more because they're already completely upgraded. I haven't messed around with the system myself. I do plan to, but I'm more the guy that likes to get out there and explore and feel the quest and role play. I don't really spend a lot of time with the crafting stuff. But it's a really cool system. I'm glad it's there, and I do plan to mess around with it.
Yeah, there's
a
a lot of like just like the settlement system. I don't use it that much. I'm not really into building my own settlements and doing that kind of stuff. But I know that there's 100 more people that do enjoy do that kind of stuff.
Definitely.
For every me that doesn't like it, there's 100 more that'll do 8 hours doing it. Like some people we know. But yeah, it's I didn't really use it that much. Basically, I found a gun. It's good for base guns. Like if you find a simple base gun, you can add whatever you want to it. But if you'll probably find something better. Like a legendary guy is probably gonna have a rifle that's gonna have something better. Which I mean, kind of defeats the purpose of it, but at the same time.
Yeah. All right, well, I think that's all for game mechanics, really, that I have to say, at least.
Yeah, if you only wanted game mechanics and you don't want to get spoiled for the story, come back next time. Finish the story yourself and come back and join the conversation down below.
So is this where we are going all in, like spoilers, everything on the table?
We're gonna. Okay, so how did you end your story?
Okay, so I was Brotherhood of Steel, and I regret Brotherhood of Steel though, but I was Brotherhood of Steel. That's how I ended it.
So I did Institute. I did the Institute.
Okay, see, that's what I thought you did.
So basically, there's 3 main factions that you do. You can do the Brotherhood of Steel, which it's really cool how they kind of introduce you to the Brotherhood of Steel. You basically just talk to one guy, and he's a something dance, Paladin dance.
Yeah, Paladin dance.
You talk to him, you do missions for him, and then you go and you kill the guy that killed your wife or husband. And Kellogg. His name's Kellogg. I got a lot of flack for people who are like, why is his name was Cereal? I was like, okay, guys, calm down. It's a name. And as soon as you kill him and like go outside, this huge blimp comes over and it's like,
the Pridwin.
It's called a Pridwin. It's like a giant blimp with like helicopters on the sides. It's like a flying airbase. It's insane. Yeah. And it's like, we are the Brotherhood of Steel. Do not fuck with us.
Basically, yeah.
And yeah, that was a really cool. And then there's also the Institute, which is basically robots. It's scientists and robots, and they use the robots to kind of do whatever they need to out in the wasteland. And then there's the Railroad, who are trying to free the robots because the robots have AI sometimes, and they're trying to save those robots.
Yeah. The common misconception, though, there is a 4th one. The Minutemen are 4th.
Do technically count.
Yeah, and you can finish the main story as the Minutemen.
Yeah, you can. Whenever I decided to leave them, I talked to the guy for one last time. I was just thinking in my head, like, all this is like just too repetitive. I'm just gonna leave these guys. And he's like, I want you to be the leader. You are now the general of the Minutemen. And I'm like, that's cool. Thanks, man. Bye. Later, bro. I'm gonna leave later.
That's a playing problem to me though, because you can't say no. You are literally the general. It's like, what if I don't like you?
I think you could say no. I said yes and just left. And like basically they're my backup. Like if I decided, you know what? I'm not really a fan of the Railroad. I'm gonna go back to They're basically just my side, you know? They're
Yeah.
my side piece. Just in
But
case.
so yeah, I said with the Brotherhood, and the reason I said I regret, I should probably give some reasoning for that. All right, so I'm gonna rant about the storyline in general real quick. It feels, yeah, but you listen up, because I've been needing to vent this out. So it feels while you're playing it like it's a awesome storyline, but looking back on it, it is easily one of the worst storylines I have ever played for a Fallout game.
Hmm.
There are so many questions you can't answer. I wanted to side with the Institute, but you can't talk to, so we're going full out spoilers, right?
Yes, full spoilers. We just
Father, who is your son, Sean.
Okay, so let's lead up a little bit. You're basically the entire story is you're trying to find your son. You think that you in the beginning you're frozen cryogenically. Your baby son is frozen with your counterpart, your husband or wife.
Your baby son.
Your
Oh,
baby, your baby. It's your baby. It's your mama, baba. Um, it's fine. I can't talk. That's why I do podcasts. Um, so you see your husband, wife get killed, and baby taken away, and then you're frozen again. You don't know how long you've been frozen. You assume 10-ish years. You go on through the story. You're trying to find your son. You learn that your son is in the Institute. You go to the Institute, and you see this baby boy named Sean, and you're like, you're my baby boy! And it's like, the kid's like, who the fuck are you?
yeah.
And then this old guy walks in and is like, X7 enter whatever protocol, and then like your
It
son
shuts
like
him down.
your son just shuts down. And you're like, oh my god, what the fuck is happening right now?
Yeah.
He's an
And then-
experiment. And then the old man named Father looks at you and says, I know who you are. You know who I am. I am your son. And you're just like, but you're 10. And then
See
like,
that, and that's where the game did so well. Some of those plot twists were just freaking fantastic.
yeah,
like
that plot twist I really did not see coming. I was like,
Yeah, but and then here comes my biggest problem. Now I'm walking around the Institute. Right in this moment, you have to decide if you're going to side with the Institute or continue on with whoever you infiltrated with. So you either infiltrated with the Railroad or the Brotherhood of Steel. I infiltrated with the
also
Brotherhood of
the
Steel.
Minutemen. You can also do it.
I don't know if you can infiltrate with the Minutemen. The
They-
Minutemen's quest is super direct because you just keep doing the settlements and then eventually and I don't think you can only do the Minutemen. I think you need to progress with one of the other three factions because the Minutemen, the castle falls under attack, you fight back, and then you teleport in literally right after that with the Minutemen. So the Minutemen are very, very strange, and that's why they don't consider the main quest line. You can't do.
They did ask you like Virgil, who gives you the quest to get the teleportation into the Institute. This is how you get into the Institute. You have to use a teleporter.
Yeah.
That's installed your Pip-Boy or whatever, and you can go to 3 different factions to get that built, which is the Brotherhood of Steel. You can go to the Railroad, or you can go to the Minutemen. I went to the Railroad. Who did you go with?
I went to the Brotherhood of Steel and I built the teleporter.
That's who I was gonna go to because I was just thinking like, okay, who's gonna be the smartest people to do this? The guy that flew in with a blimp, probably gonna be them. And then they're like, you're gonna have to do a few missions for us. I'm like, you're kind of sketchy. I'm gonna go see if the Railroad can do this.
Yeah.
And I knew for a fact the Minutemen couldn't do it, so I didn't even try it with them.
Yeah, no, they can. The only thing you can do with them is defend the castle and then attack. But so when I went to the Institute and I was walking around, they actually gave me like, because I immerse myself in these games and I make a decision how I would actually think about it. And the Institute legitimately looks like the only hope for humanity. Like the part that really got me was you walk into one of the labs and they have literal gorillas. They have actual gorillas.
No, they're robot gorillas.
But
They
they're
are
still
robot
gorillas. But
And
they are
also,
still gorillas.
And also, when you're fighting the Brotherhood of Steel,
Yeah, you kill
I
them.
guess no. You since I went with Institute, I guess you had the other side of the fight, fighting for the Brotherhood. They use those gorillas to fight the Brotherhood of Steel.
Yeah, I know. I had to kill the gorillas. They broke through the glass and started attacking with the Brotherhood when we attacked the Institute.
And I was just like, this is the greatest fight scene of all time.
The fact that there is just like still they have this ability to do these things, it's mind blowing, and like they like could be one of the only hopes for the Commonwealth. So that made me want to side with them. But there are so many questions you cannot ask them. In the beginning of the game, when you get to Diamond City, you'll be introduced to rumors that the Institute slaughtered a whole settlement, which you reveal are true. And you can't find out why. You find out that you can't ask why they're doing that. You can't ask Father why they're kidnapping people and using them in the former FEV lab systems, or why they're taking some of them, putting some of them in the FEV, turning some of them into sense and sending them back in, and like you
Yeah, there's
can't
no
ask
explanation
why
for
they're
that.
doing this. And yeah, it drives me insane. And what ends up happening with the Institute is Father dies, you take over, blah 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 blah. You're now the leader. It's basically every other freaking quest line in the game. You become a prominent figure. In the Institute case, you actually lead the whole entire thing,
Yeah.
and you don't get any hindsight if into you can like free some sense or
Yeah, that was what
some
I
a
wanted to do. I wanted
dictator.
to
Exactly.
I wanted to
You
go into
can't.
the institute and be like, "Hey, robots, you get to decide right now if you want to work with us or go do your own thing."
And it drives me crazy. You can't, and it doesn't reveal. And who knows? People are like, "Oh, DLC will come along." There shouldn't be DLC to come along. It should. You should be able to wrap it up then and there. And I just think I think they really did a horrible job with the ending of these storylines. I think the progression through, I think there's a lot of missing information that drove me crazy, but I think overall the progression through them was pretty solid. But the endings, they were all
I
atrocious.
do wish that in that just like in Fallout 3, whenever you first ended the vanilla game, it just cut off there. Like it's like you made this choice, that is your choice, end of
Hmm.
game.
And let's in the ending, both Fallout and Fallout New Vegas, you got to see how you affected each group. Did not
Yeah,
really
yeah,
get
they
that,
did.
and
I think
yeah,
there was a little bit of that at Fallout 4. Like they gave you a little cutscene. It's like, man, your son's dead. He was pretty old, right?
I don't think so. I don't think they
That
talked
it
about
did it
any.
for
I
me.
think they just talked to. I think each cutscene was almost the same. Besides for whoever you picked, and it just said the Lone Wanderer, not the Lone Wanderer, the what I don't even know what they call them. They basically said you didn't know what you were and like you were just gonna adapt to the world around you. Blah blah blah. It was terrible. I was so upset with the ending.
Yeah, the
And though
cutscene was kind of weak.
and I mentioned with the Brotherhood of Steel, the reason I regretted them so much is because at first you realize they're all extremists right off the back.
Yeah,
They are so passionate
there's
about
no
their
black and
cause.
white. There's
Yeah, no.
only black and white. There's no gray because I wanted to side with the railroad, like and just like I said, I wanted to go into the institute and change them to where they
Hmm.
can like be more open minded about like robots and robot rights, which is kind of
Yeah.
weird.
Robot rights.
Robot rights, but I wanted to do that, and there's no option for that. You have to take over the institute and follow their ideologies, and it's just like
Yeah.
that
Like,
takes away
why
my
would you do
choice.
that?
Like
Yep.
my solution was to change things in the game, and they didn't allow me to do that.
Hmm. And with the Brotherhood, you just slowly realize, like for me, there's a quest, and it's the best quest in the game. Paladin Dance is someone I got really close to. I started to really enjoy him as a character, and you find out he is actually a synth, and he doesn't know that because they replaced his memories. And you find out Paladin Dance is a synth, and you are ordered by Elder Maxon to go kill him, and it is the most conflicting quest I have ever played because I almost shot him and I really didn't want to, but in the end, I was 8 charisma at the time, so I was able to get through the thing like smooth talking. Ends up Dance is banished. 90% of people end up killing Dance though, because he actually orders you to kill him. Dance does when you're like in the room. I know, frowny face. It is a sad quest, man. It is intense, and Dance orders you to kill him, and it was really conflicting. But at that moment, I realized Elder Maxon is a young arrogant dick. Like he would not respect all the service Dance is given, and it drove me insane. And that's when I wanted to end. But at the same time, you said with the railroad, you end up abolishing the Brotherhood. As soon as you do that, the rest of the chapter is gonna come and destroy you. You destroy the Institute as well. But they don't establish anything. It's the railroad. It's like 20 people in a basement and a few agents. The railroad just wouldn't be at the choice that would establish a lot. And I feel like the Minutemen are the ones that, well, technically, if you do the Minutemen, the Brotherhood stay as well. You just finished it through the Minutemen, so technically, the Brotherhood is still the power. So I don't know.
I can't believe that
Ugh.
the institute didn't even touch Dance at all. Like if he was a
They
synth,
didn't. They didn't mention him at
they
all.
didn't mention him at all. Like I'm
Huh.
really surprised to find that Dance is a synth because
Well,
that would be
I think he's an escape synth because his memory was replaced with ones that weren't his, and that's the process they do in synth escape. That's what the railroad does. They give them new memories. If you played Fallout 3, Harkness, the chief security of Rivet City, he had replaced the memories. There's a recall code for him, but they do replace them. The railroad, that's their job.
Yeah, but I mean, like, they get another escape synth that had his memories re-wiped. The raider. So one of the raiders, like of a huge settlement of raiders, the leader is a synth, and you have to go to that settlement, kill all the guys there, and then go to the boss, which is a synth, and give him like basically just take him away. So I don't know why they wouldn't do that for Dance. That would be an insane quest line to be like, there's this Brotherhood of Steel agent. He is
Like infiltrate the Brotherhood. Yeah.
Infiltrate the Brotherhood. Go take this paladin out, and they don't tell you who it is, and then you find out that it's Dance. That would be insane. That would be a crazy good. That would be a great quest line. Why not?
Yeah, but it was. I mean, it was fantastic for the Brotherhood. It is the best quest I've ever played, and it makes the storyline a little okay with me. But I feel like another issue we should focus on. I don't know if it's an issue to do, but it was for a long time Fallout fan, the dialogue system.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
One of the worst things that has ever come to Fallout. At first, I was okay with it. As Pete Hines said, it just worked. No, Todd Howard said that. Todd Howard just kept doing it. It just worked. And at first it did. But then you realize that's why there's so many issues with not being able to ask certain questions or not why you get to play a certain role. Because
there's basically a negative answer, a question,
a question, and a furthering
sarcastic and or maybe, if you're like middle of the road. Or yes, a positive answer.
And to progress.
All you get in every single dialogue.
And you don't know what they're going to say. I haven't run into problems where they say something that's like completely out of whack, but my biggest problem is just that it's not what we're used to in Fallout games. It's annoying, and it limits your character so much. And what Todd Howard said, and I do agree with a lot of people arguing this point, is their mission wasn't to sell. It was to sell a story. They wanted to make a story. They wanted to focus on making a story. But that's not what Fallout is. You don't write the story for your audience. You let them make their own story. And that's what all the Fallout games have been about. Fallout 1 and 2, not so much because you do have to, like 1, you have to get the water chip. 2, you have to save your tribe. I haven't played these games in like a little bit over 6 years, but I think that's pretty accurate. 3, you do get a choice, though. You can either poison the river and kill everyone and purify the wasteland, or you can try to save the wasteland by purifying the water and progressing humanity from there.
That's a pretty simple choice. I mean, that's a simple, like, single fork. There's one or the other. And Fallout 4, there could be hundreds of ways, and I wish that I could have just done one. Like, I don't know.
The dialogue issues, they limited your character. They focused on telling a story. They didn't let you form your own character a lot of the time, and it just really, really pissed me off. The missing questions with the dialogue are what really drove me crazy. That I would have definitely joined the Institute. I think a lot of people would have if you would have just asked their intentions or asked how you could change things, and you never could, and it just it ruined the Institute for me. So,
also, your character doesn't understand sarcasm to save his life. Like I did a sarcasm to Kellogg, the guy that killed your husband and son, husband or wife, and stole your son. I did sarcasm to him, and I was like, okay, I just wanted to like do something witty before I started attacking him. It was like sarcasm, and he was like, "I'm gonna kill you, son of a bitch, bastard," and I'm like, "That's not sarcasm at all, bro. Calm down,
forward, man."
I'm like, that's the least sarcasm ever, man. Calm yourself.
And I told you, I have actually 10 charisma now with my character. I'm a high charismatic character because I've always liked being able to talk my way and negotiate. I'm a smooth talker.
Don't look at me like that.
But they ruined it in this game. It's like you can barely 90% of the charisma checks you do are just to get more caps out of a quest, and it's so stupid. It's like you can't. A lot of times you have to just kill everyone. You can't talk your way through it. There are a few situations, but for the majority, in Fallout New Vegas and 3, you could talk your way out of anything, really. Like anything.
Yeah.
You can't do that anymore. And it's just
the only difference with the charisma checks is basically it would be like yellow means that it's very easy to get through. Orange, which means that it's, medium difficulty to go through. Then red is just like don't even try. I missed the either in Fallout New Vegas, I think they did just a single points. Like if you had 6 charisma, you could do it. If you had 6 intelligence, you could do it. And then Fallout 3, they did percentages. Like there's a 65% chance that you could do it.
Yeah.
And this is just like, who knows? You can maybe.
Going back just a little bit, The perk system. I can't believe we didn't talk about those.
Oh yeah,
Um,
because we
and
suck.
I'll
That's
just
why.
touch on. I know. Apparently, I'll just touch on those briefly. With the removal of skill points, you also took away a huge. And once again, I want to reiterate. I sound like I'm hating on this game. I would give this game an 8 out of 10. They just took away and didn't add the right things a lot of the time, in my opinion. But they took away skill points, which allowed you to customize your character on a whole additional level. It made like the customization process a little more in depth and difficult, and they really did simplify it for the common gamer,
Yeah.
which I get, but it's just frustrating for the ones that have been here. But they just took away a huge level of customization for you, which
Yeah.
really pissed me off, to say the least.
Yep. I completely agree with that.
Mm,
Basically, the perk system is a chart.
yeah.
It's a big movie poster, and you get to choose which ones you want. And I mean, it's all right, but and I also feel like they didn't really add anything. Like it's all the same perks.
The
That
ones they added were just they added to new game mechanics, basically, like the weapon
yeah.
customization, the armor customization. There wasn't there wasn't like a new one that really stuck out to me.
Hmm.
A lot of the perks I thought were stupid. I know that sounds weird, but like if you max out a skill, you should get a sick perk. Like if I have 10 strength, the perk I should get is awesome. It's not. It's like, oh, it's average. So
So
that
the perks that you can max out, like there's one that there's a perk for like something with water. Like if you go into water, you don't take any radiation from it. If you max it out, you can breathe on water.
mm-hmm.
Like there are some perks like also for the medkit one. If you max out the medkit, like it's going from 40% whenever you do a sim pack, then the next level you do 50% extra health whenever you use a stim pack. If you max it out, each stim pack immediately grants you your entire life back.
Good
And
lord, that's OP.
oh yeah, but it's like 5 levels in, so you have to spend 5 levels doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And also you regen over time. So and like there are like whenever you completely level out some of the perks, not the like the special perks, not the like strength, whatever, all the way through. Um, if you've maxed out those, there's no extra perks to it, but the minor perks they do quite a bit if you max them out.
Yeah, okay. Um,
Got so much darker in my room.
how it did. Oh my god. How many quests have you completed? Like side quest? Have you done a lot
Side
of those?
quest wise, I didn't touch them that much. Like I went pretty story, and then like whenever I found like I found Vault 81, and I would go and like kind of deviate that way. But if I didn't find it like naturally, I didn't go out of my way for it.
Well, let me tell
Um,
you, you didn't miss anything at all.
I'll see
They
your face. I'm
are
like, oh god, they're gonna yell at me.
horrendous. They are the most simple-minded. There are like, it's like they added 1,000 side quests. There are so many, and they made like 10 of them okay or good. I am hoping I'm missing out on some of the more powerful ones, but with 50 hours in, I've completed at least 40 side quests, and they are so terrible. They are like they don't give you the option. They don't give you like if you remember New Vegas or Fallout 3, each side quest there was 90% of the time there was a decision. There's different ways you could go about it. This one is run and gun through hallways to just kill everyone, and it's so infuriating sometimes. I was really expecting every side quest to be a polished quest that had different choices
It would
and all
affect
that
the
fun
storyline.
stuff,
Is the
and
biggest part
infect
for
the
me.
storyline, but it doesn't. I complete a random quest here. Occasionally, I hear a guard in Diamond City comment on it. 90% of the time, it doesn't affect anything though,
Oh,
and that's something they've always struggled is with making decisions you make affecting the entire game and the entire Commonwealth,
yeah.
and it doesn't happen.
Can I talk about the radio DJ for a little bit?
Oh my! No, no, you cannot, because it is
I
terrible.
Okay, so I thought at first it was really clever that since Three Dog was probably the best radio DJ, they didn't want to combat with that, so they just made a shitty radio DJ, and that was just kind of like he was laughably bad. He was very introverted and stuff like that. Like okay, instead of like being amazing, he's the opposite end, and you can kind of relate to him more. And I was like, I can't wait to meet him. I can't wait to do his side quests. I can't wait to like actually like talk to this guy. He's in Diamond City, so I go to Diamond City. I immediately try to find this guy. I go into his little trailer, and he's sitting there. I'm like, oh my god, this is the guy. He looks like a fucking nerd.
Trevor.
His name's Trevor. I go to him.
Wait,
and
is it Trevor or Travis?
Travis. Travis sounds right. I talk to him, and he just talks like an NPC. Like he gives you like a straight back answer. and that's it. That's literally the only thing that he says to you, and I'm like, you've been talking about me on the radio for the past 10 hours.
Oh, I didn't think about that yet.
Like just like in Fallout 3, the radio DJ talks about you. Like he's like, "Hey, did you hear about this guy from the vaults? He's been frozen for 200 years. Now he's helping people out. This is awesome. Look at that guy." And then I actually go and meet him face to face, and he's just like,
What's up?
What's up?
Have you done the quest Confidence Man?
Confidence Man. What's that about?
You make him not a shitty DJ.
I didn't know you could talk to him. How do you do this?
You have to do it through the bartenders at the Dugout Inn. But he's still not good. He's still terrible. He's still annoying. I can't listen to him. He's still infuriating. Just go on YouTube. I'm sure you can find a Confidence Man and hear him sound better. He just becomes more smooth and he's like more charming, I guess. But he's still like this. The voice for a radio commentator, like Three Dog was just invigorated you. He made you laugh. He's not funny. He's kind of bland. He's better than his today. He's better than that.
This is brought to you by this guy.
Yeah, he's better.
Go buy his stuff.
He's better than that, but he's still not.
Which is the thing he says. He's like, we don't really make caps here. So we have sponsors. This is our first one.
Yep.
Diamond City Inn.
But have you seen the posters all around
there.
The Commonwealth for the Galaxy News Network, or GNN? No one really knows what it stands for yet. I haven't found any lore on Galaxy News Network, or if they're gonna bring it back in DLC. I don't know if there's another. I don't know if there's a quest out there where I make a new radio guy and there's another one.
You have to kill Travis, and then you get Three Dog.
I would murder him, but I think he's an essential character. Otherwise, I would.
The radio just goes off the air.
Yeah. But there is just he's so annoying, and I'm praying that there is going to be another one either in DLC or there's a quest out there. If you're in the comment section, frickin' tell me where I can get a new one, because good lord that he is terrible. I hate listening to him. I turn it on.
He's bad at being a radio DJ too. There's a mission in the Institute where you need to hijack their broadcast signal, whatever. And what you do is you go to his trailer, steal stuff out of his backpack while he's looking at you, and then you plug stuff in that he already has, but he's too stupid enough to know how to do it. It's like, what am I even doing right now? He has this stuff with him. Why is he not? And it like strengthens the signal so that everyone can hear it. Like, why did he not do that?
Yeah,
makes
typical
absolutely
Fallout,
no
man.
sense.
Typical Fallout.
And I was like, okay, bud, this is going too long.
Yeah, but I don't know. So just the quests are lackluster. A lot of the time, I just said it. I still give this game a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. It's still my favorite game of the year by far. I still love the Fallout people and the franchise. Bethesda is my favorite game company. They're all awesome people. They just, I think, messed up on a lot, and I'm really hoping the DLC, they capitalize. I think the dialogue system is one of the biggest mistakes the franchise has ever made, and I hope they go away from it.
I hope they go. They may take it away for the next game. I don't know. But for the DLC, they'll definitely keep it.
Oh, no, yeah. For the DLC, they'll definitely take it.
That's a whole game mechanic that they
I'm just thinking more of, like, if Obsidian comes in, they're going to do it. And if you think about it, though, the DLC also, it limits so much. They can't go back and, like, change stuff because your character just talks away. And no matter what you do, if you want to be if you're an African-American male, and if you're a black man, and you want to make a black character, your character still sounds like an average white guy. Like, it just doesn't make sense with it takes away from that character customization and you creating your own wasteland and your own story. And that's my biggest thing. RPGs are about creating your own story, and they did not do that.
You basically got to choose 3 stories. You can either do the Brotherhood of Steel story, you can do the Institute story, and you can do the Railroad story.
And I hated all 3 of them. I don't know if that's just me. I was in a Reddit discussion on Fallout Reddit. I would definitely recommend you guys go out there if you love talking about Fallout. It's a great forum to discuss it. And so we were on it, /r/Fallout, and a lot of us were discussing that, like, we hated all of the factions. They all just were not appetizing. In the end, I chose the Brotherhood because they came in on a frickin' blimp with power armor. Like, they're awesome to look at. Guess who has a jetpack on his power armor right now? This
That
guy.
what is it? You?
It is.
I can teleport, sir.
I have
Let
a
me
jet.
tell you,
I have a jetpack. I have a jetpack.
I can
But the
teleport.
environment is fantastic in the game.
The
It's
environment's really good.
beautiful. And
I
you can like jump up on with my jetpack. I can get up on any building I want, any roof I want, and it's really cool to do that. That's
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Mhm.
This map is a lot smaller than the other maps. That can be
Yeah.
said. Like,
And what didn't people think it was gonna be bigger? Like, wasn't it supposed to be like 10 times bigger? And I have not found it to be bigger at
no,
all.
no, it's someone did a walk from corner, like from either side to side or corner to corner. I'm not sure, but it takes 11 minutes if you just go straight
Wow.
across. But I
Yeah,
think
no, it
that's
is really small.
I think it's better that way though,
Hmm.
because instead of being like really spaced out and having very like and being everything being very few and far between,
Hmm.
you can throw a rock and get to somewhere new.
Yeah,
You can throw a rock, find a new quest line. Like
yeah.
it's I like
I
I,
think there's pluses and minuses about the whole
mm,
thing. I think short term, it definitely is better. It helps you immerse yourself in the game a lot more. I just think long term, I don't know. I just maybe they're gonna make a new world like DLC. Like the Lonesome Road, Honest Hearts. They all took you Old World Blues. They all took you to different places and the way different creations. And I
mm.
maybe they'll do that, and that would be really cool. And they'll make like a huge map there, or like probably half the size of the Commonwealth, but still just keep adding that. I just if I had to pick between if I could have the feeling of Fallout 4 and put it into the Capital Wasteland, it would be fantastic. I think the Capital Wasteland still wins with the size of the map, the amount that's going on in that map. It is so interesting. There's so many buildings in there. There's so many stories to do. Um, I don't know. I really do. I love the Commonwealth.
Mhm.
I did expect it to be bigger though. I did expect a little bit more from it.
Just like my girlfriend.
Oh,
Um,
damn.
just kidding. I don't have a girlfriend.
Neither do
Anyway,
I.
the
We wouldn't be
want a
talking about
date?
Fallout 4 on a podcast if we did.
Look, we can bang, dude. It's fine.
Mm.
I think the bad thing about the smaller world and like there's less walking time in between each point is that there's less random events. Like I don't know if you noticed or not, there's
Yes.
random
Hmm.
events. Like there will be a random girl that's getting attacked by mole rats that you can save, and when you're done by that, she'll give you whatever caps. Um, and it was pretty cool because like one time I did that, but then I died because I'm dumb, and
Died by rats. Oh
died.
lord.
No, it wasn't mole rats. It was I think I didn't save after I did that. And I went to go do something else and just died because I'm stupid. And then I had to revert and I went back to the same area and it was a different random event. So I thought that was kind of cool where it's like a randomly generated event every so often throughout the entire like capital wasteland, not the capital wasteland, the Commonwealth. The I thought that was kind of cool, but since the map is so small, you don't get to see it all that often.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know. It was nice, but it was in that regard it kind of
Hmm.
it hindered itself in
Mini
its own way.
encounters are cool in this game. I've seen a few that have really stuck out to me. There was one where they were a few settlers and they had a preacher with them, and he was actually giving like a message about a burial. One of their friends had died, and they kept referring to them by name, and they kept telling like a story, and they talked for 5 minutes real time about what had happened or what had taken. And I thought it was gonna be a quest line. Like I started talking to them, like, "What can I do?" And nothing happened. I was like, "That was the most in-depth mini encounter. That was fantastic." Now, I was annoyed that I couldn't do anything because I wanted to help these people. It was that good, but I've also noticed there's a lack of villages and towns in this game. There
uh,
really is, in my
there's a
opinion.
few, but yeah, like there's it's really far between.
Just I feel like they expected you to make your own nonstop, and I don't know. I think Diamond City. When I found out that was the biggest town in the game, I actually wanted to cry. I
Yeah, it's
expect
really not that big. It's
it's not.
maybe the size of Megaton.
It's yeah, not even. I think Megaton was bigger and had more going on in it.
Yeah.
That it is there's more quest in it. Like that finding out Mayor McDonough was a synth. I think that was kind of silly though, because I knew that as soon as I walked into that town, the way they are all afraid of everyone. I don't. Did you know that
Wait, what? That
Mayor
he's yeah,
McDonough?
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
they alluded. Piper alludes to it.
Yeah,
She's
yeah, all
like,
the time. And she's like, it's a theory, but the way he acts, you're gonna tell. And yeah, I walked in one day, and I killed him. He was a synth. He is now dead. His body is in the mayor's office. I
oh
shot him in the face
man,
with a shotgun.
did you become general of the town?
No, I was really hoping I was, and I was like, I am the mayor
I
now.
will be.
And
I
then
just
his
said general because of
secretary
the.
Geneva goes, "Oh, I'm the new standing mayor," and I'm like,
It's like we're gonna have a
what?
fight about this.
Yeah, no, negative.
Who did you choose as your like primary companion?
Piper,
I chose Piper too.
because
I was just like, I need to get laid. My guy has been frozen for 200 years. There's a lot of stuff pent up right now.
And let me tell you, I got it out.
I don't think I did. I romanced her twice. There's several times where your companion will just be like, okay, let's talk about something real quick. I'm like, okay, this is cool. Or you'll talk to your companion and they'll give you like a dialogue choice, and then they'll either like you more or like you less depending on how you answer.
Nope. If you literally just choose the first one, which is the one down,
Yeah,
you
if you choose the bottom one, the bottom one's always positive. It
yep, they
always
always like you, and it's so annoying.
that you know exactly which is the one that they want to hear. It's always the down arrow or the
Yep.
or A button on your controller, X button on the PS4. It's always the lowest one. It's like that's always gonna be the positive. What I did like is whenever they would hear you talking to somebody, and then you'd say like you go to the institute, and be like, yeah, I want to go kill that guy, and Piper would be like, oh, hey, that's not cool with me.
Yeah.
But all it did was like lower an invisible number you don't get to see. It doesn't really do anything like big to her. Like if you go like, hey, I'm gonna go kill all the railroad real quick, she's like, I don't like that. I'll help you out. I don't like that. And I'm like, I feel like that should you should probably leave at this point. I did tell her like this is gonna get really awkward for you. I'm gonna go join the institute. I'm gonna send you back to Sanctuary Hills.
This is gonna get really awkward. Oh.
It's gonna get really awkward for you.
Yeah, so I don't know. I like the game. I will say I hate it on the dialogue a lot. It does immerse you into the game a lot. It does add that really interesting element. It does tell a story really, really well. I find myself I actually don't skip all the dialogue. I listen. It's just not what I wanted in Fallout 4. I wanted to make my own story. I wanted to forge my own character, and you're super limited to it in this game. I think the main storyline was once again way too short. That tends to be a frickin' theme. I think New Vegas was a lot better. There's a lot more to it with the interaction of different factions. But I think the storyline overall, if you would have done a straight shot, 7-8 hours, you would have been done. To be honest, missing information, which prevented me from joining the Institute. The lack of powerful or interesting side quest. There was things that pissed me off about this game. And overall, though, I still look forward every time I load up because the Commonwealth is a vast and interesting place. It's a beautiful place. The combat is fun. Overall, exploring still makes this a fantastic game. There's still good parts of the quest. Just the storyline, I think I had fun while playing it, reflecting. And when it ends, especially when it ends, you're just like, what? And the Brotherhood, I don't know what the Institute. I had to go and kill everyone on the railroad.
Yeah, you had to kill everyone in the railroad.
There was no choice. It was an order, and it's like that's not Fallout at all. You always have an order. It just seemed like there was nothing drawn out about it. You literally just go and you annihilate everyone.
Yeah, why did the Brotherhood give reasoning to kill the railroad?
Well, because I was actually doing railroad quest, and then there was a part where the leader says the Brotherhood of Steel are now officially enemies of ours.
Oh,
because
Desmona?
the Brotherhood of Steel yes,
yeah,
they want to completely annihilate the Synths because Elder Maxon is a literal dictator who brainwashes his people and their loyalty, and that's why I start to dislike the Brotherhood is because you learn that they're a manipulative, power-hungry group, and they have the coolest weapons and toys, but they are not a good group of people. So. Yeah, when they announced that, I went back and I stopped doing railroad because if you continue along that quest line, you get to a point where the Brotherhood will mark you as an enemy.
Yeah, I only got marked as an enemy with the railroad. Like I killed the leader of the not the railroad, the Brotherhood of Steel. Whenever I was continuing on the Institute rail storyline, they was just like, if you continue doing this, the Brotherhood of Steel will think that you're an enemy. And I'm like, okay, sure. I killed the leader of the railroad, and it was like, okay, I mean, that's fine.
I mean,
all right.
Technically, when you go in there and you kill everyone, you've you've taken away everything they have. That's why I think siding with the railroad as your main faction is idiotic. They are not a presence at all in the capital,
Mhm.
and then in the Commonwealth. They're a joke. And
Yeah.
if you killed the Brotherhood, if you killed the Institute, one, the Brotherhood would come down. Like I said, the rest of the chapter would come and hunt you down and destroy you because people are obsessed with Elder Maxon. But I hated Elder Maxon. That man, oh god, he just rants and rants. And did you get to kill him?
I think I found him, and he was on top of a building, and I think he walked off a building. I think he
Good,
walked off the building. I have no
good.
idea. Like I
That's
was in the
really
main.
strange.
I was at the very end fight. I was being attacked by hordes upon hordes of Brotherhood of Steel. I look behind me. On the building behind me is Elder Maxon. I'm like, that's really weird that he would be there. I go to shoot at him. He falls off.
Did he die?
I don't know. He was on the other side of the building. I don't know where he went.
What if you're just wandering the waste one day and you like find him? Just
It's
kill
like,
him for
wait,
me and think of me.
wait. You're the guy that I saw on that roof. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
Mm.
But on an unrelated note, I need to kill you.
Yeah, yeah. Shoot him in the head for me, please. Good lord.
Luke sends his regards.
Mm. I hated him.
But yeah, I mean, we complain a lot about the game, but we do like the game. Beth said as a Fallout game, a Fallout game is a Fallout game. We love that kind of like genre. It's Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
Fallout universe is for me a lot more interesting than the Skyrim universe. I just like future
definitely.
war stuff over mystical whatevers. So, it's a very good game. I really enjoyed it. There were bugs that kind of stopped everything, but that happens a lot.
And I look forward to playing it every day. Every time I load it up, I'm always excited. I always have. I don't ever like log out of Fallout and say that was stupid. Like I enjoy it thoroughly. Just I expect a lot from Bethesda, especially, and I think Fallout New Vegas. That was such a fantastic storyline. There were parts of it that were just not good, but the overall, the division of the two factions was done so well. One was like evil, one was good, and I think having a few more factions intertwined, I think having the Brotherhood would have been a more prominent factor, would have been cool. But they just did that so well. And in this game, I did actually have a really conflicting choice about which one to pick, but the conflicting choice was which one do I hate the least.
It
And
really
the Brotherhood was the choice.
like which really radical point of view do I? It's okay. It's good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's
And the only reason I didn't go with the Institute was because I didn't get to ask the questions of why they're kidnapping, why they're annihilating settlements. I didn't get to ask that question. I didn't know if I was going to be able to change that, and that's the only reason I did not side with the Institute.
That's why I went with the Institute, because I was like, maybe I can make a change. Maybe I can be like, maybe I can go to this table, be like, this is what we're doing now. We're gonna ask each of these synths that have AI and can think and feel if they want to stay or not.
I do not remember how long it took for the DLC to come out for the first time for Fallout 3. But I think it's in the first 4 or 5, 6 months area. I think they announced it at that point. So I think I think the first DLC is gonna add something to the storyline. I really do. I just how many people are complaining about it? If they haven't already developed something, I would hope they're rushing to, because it didn't end. It really did not feel like it ended. And for the Brotherhood of Steel, I get one of the highest ranks in the Brotherhood as a soldier is Sentinel, and I get Sentinel, and he's just like, so yeah, we have a lot to do here, but we don't really have anything to give you. So just do you. And I'm like, wait, what?
It's like I'm a commander.
Yeah, like
like,
that's basically what you are. You are a commander, and yet people are still talking down to you, and it's like, I hope you die.
Yeah, like you come in with like a full mech suit of armor and a fat man. It's like, hey man, I'm gonna talk down to you. You suck. I'm like, yeah, dude, that's a good decision that you just made.
Yeah, it's like, fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, there's a Virgil storyline that was kind of cool. Did he do that?
Yes. Did you cure him?
I did cure him. Yeah.
Yeah, I did too.
You do that too? Okay.
I thought I was to come back and he was.
I
thought
that was insane. I thought that was like he was full on. He was full on super mutant, and he's just like, "Hey man, when you go into the Institute, can you get my stuff, please? Thanks." And then you go back, you give it to him. He injects something into his arm. It's like, we'll see how this goes, and then you check back on him in a week, and he's fine. He's a human, like with hair, and like He looked fine, but all he had was like a gruff voice, and then he's like, "Yeah, you can have anything in my house now. Like, that was your quest reward." He's like, "You can have anything in the house." I took his hat.
Yeah, I looted the trunk with the good guns.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I sold those. But yeah, no, that was cool. That didn't. I keep sounding like I'm a pessimist. Like I get mad about everything, but the only part that I was like super like frustrated with that about is like, you just cured mutanism. Like no one has ever done that before, and you just cured the FEV virus. And he's like, yeah, but it's really specific to me, and it wouldn't help everyone else. And I'm like,
that's still amazing. It's like you
like,
cured, like you cured lung cancer. It's like, but that's really only
kind of what it
specific to me.
was.
It is kind of like I cured this very specific cancer. I'm like, that's still a very specific cancer that's taken out.
Yeah, so
that's
like,
amazing. And he's just like,
there needs to be like more storyline about how do we develop this? How do we go through with this? And
yeah, but I can't help brain cancer. Might as well throw it out.
What is he studying in there now? That's what I'm wondering. Like, what is he doing?
I think he's just fapping. Like he found his dick.
Yeah.
His hands won't crush himself anymore. I think that's all he's gonna do.
Back down to normal size.
I like to think so. That's how we're gonna end the podcast. Thank you guys all for being here. What do you guys think? Was your dick shrunken whenever you weren't a super mutant anymore? Put your answers down in the comments down below. Thank you guys all for being here. I'm probably gonna put this on SoundCloud if you want to listen to it on SoundCloud. It's gonna definitely be on YouTube. Thank you guys all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, share it with your friends. Leave comments. Join the discussion. We want to be able to discuss with you guys what you thought about the story. What do you think about the mechanics?
100%.
And we just want to reach out to as many people as possible and have as many discussions as possible. Thank you guys all for being here. Hope you guys really did enjoy this stuff. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.
Yeah. See you next time.
Nah.